What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another soundtrack reaction. This one for a feature film 25 years ago, which is to say Spy Game, a film by Tony Scott, a director. Unfortunately, he passed away some years back, did take his own life, unfortunately. Brother of Ridley Scott of, Aliens fame. But I do think this is Tony Scott's best movie, and in the genre of spy films, one of my very, very favorite, and I do like a lot of espionage fiction, whether you're talking about, miniseries like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and Smiley's People, or films that are, a bit flashier. Obviously, the Bond films are technically espionage movies, though they, at least historically, played that a bit more, let's say, not comedically necessarily, but with a bit more stylized, flash and comedy and so on. My understanding is the last decade or so that Bond films have been quite dark, or at least like grittier than they used to be. I wouldn't know, I haven't seen them. The point is, outside of the Bond series, I do actually like a lot of espionage fiction, and this is right up there with the very best of them. An incredible performance both by Robert Redford, another one who has passed away unfortunately, as well as Brad Pitt. And I won't spoil the plot because it's something I may do a watch along for on my Patreon eventually. It really is, worth having a nice long, watch along and, people commenting on it and so on. So I won't give away too much. I'll just say that Robert Redford plays an experienced veteran intelligence / espionage official who's on the verge of retirement, and one of his proteges, Brad Pitt, at the beginning of the film, in an operation that is not officially sanctioned by the CIA or any intelligence agency, he's arrested, and he's like captured, essentially, in the People's Republic of China. And it's not clear what he was doing or why he was doing, and Robert Redford, again, he had mentored Brad Pitt's character, and so he's trying to figure out what happened. He's also, just about to leave for the last time. He's, about to retire from the entire intelligence industry, and yet because of this personal connection, he gets sucked back in to try to fix the situation with minimal damage and ideally with saving his former protege's life. So, yeah, it's a really, really good movie, and it's got fantastic music. It just, the whole score is brilliant. The score is by a composer I'm not really familiar with, Harry Gregson-Williams. So yeah, I can't think of another film where I've seen his name in the credits. Now maybe that's just my own lack of paying attention. Maybe I do know other movies where he was the composer, but this is the only one I know for sure. But it's a really great soundtrack, and the name of the tune we're going to listen to, it's heard very early on in the film, and the name of it is He's Been Arrested for Espionage, which, again, it's like the main story point that, provides for the rest of the movie. It's the starting point for the film that follows, so it makes sense you hear it early on. Now the film, again, he's captured in the People's Republic of China, and there's scenes, in Vietnam and some other places. So a lot of the score has a bit of an East Asian feel to it, and this tune is very much in that vein, but it also has that, atmosphere and ambiance that a lot of movie scores have. So yeah, it's like this tune has a very movie score meets East Asian sound to it. So with no further ado, let's give it a listen. This is from Spy Game 2001, a track by Harry Gregson-Williams, and it's called He's Been Arrested for Espionage. a short piece, but exquisite. I just love the sound of that. I don't like a woodwind. I'm not even sure what instrument, and I'm assuming that is like an Asian style instrument. But yes, it just really has this evocative sound to it, and I love that deep kind of synth bass foundation that's below it, and which does change in tone at a couple points across the course of the track. So yeah, a very moving piece, and if you know the story, it's even more like emotional and moving. So again, if you haven't seen it, I'd say maybe wait till I do a watch along for it. I'm not sure exactly when that'll be, but maybe by the end of the year. I have occasionally done these kind of one-off movie watch-alongs where I'm doing a lot of series watch-alongs, different types of series, anime, J-drama, like British series, American shows, and so on. But as I said, I've occasionally done one-off like movie reactions, and that's one that I definitely like to do at some point because it is a very well done movie, and again acted brilliantly by some of the principals, and not just Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. There's a number of like character actors, people I've seen in other movies that are very good in Spy Game. I will also mention it's a movie I've sampled in a lot of my mixes. So for those of you who do check out my DJ mixes, let me just try to remember which ones, because I think one of them I actually sampled the tune we just listened to. I think it's maybe at like the end of the mix. So the Operative and Off the Reservation, I guess there's only 2 mixes that I've sampled it in. But yeah, definitely those 2, Off the Reservation and the Operative. But yeah, it's just a really good film, and as I said, the rest of the score is just as good as what you've heard. So let me know what you think of this one, and Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.